Okay, hi and welcome to all our classmates and to Dr. Iqbal. So today we are from Group X Accelerate and our topic is use case description. So these are my group members, me, Harzik Pradhapan, Jainis and Raj, Nalini and Josia. So first of all, as a brief introduction, a picture, they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words. So what we have here is a picture, and to be more precise, it's a use case model. So when you see this use case model, it's basically a model of system functions or requirements. Basically, if I'm a user and I'm using a system, the use case model describes what the user will do, what the user can do, and all those things. But what goes in each of these use cases, like each of this, like execute trade, for example, how it's going to look inside this bubble? Can we tell that? Can you, as a viewer, tell that from viewing this model? I don't think so. You can't tell that. So that's why we have something called a use case description. So if you think about it, a use case description is basically a step-by-step process to help the user, or a step-by-step process of how the user will achieve his or her goal. So in this case, for every system, whatever system it may be a booking system, it may be a hotel ticket reservation system, whatever system it may be, it can have different several scenarios. For example, if I want to place an order, I'm a customer, but do I have if I'm a customer, do I have the members privileges or not? So this is an example of a scenario, one of the scenario when it comes to orders. So in this use case, so in this use case description, we have several levels of terms, which is brief, intermediate, and a fully developed description. I think it's self-explanatory how it's going to look brief compared to fully developed. We will show you examples down the line. And so the use case description, it's pretty narrative compared to the drawing we just saw just now. This is the drawing. So it'll be descriptive. That's basically what a use case description is. And we do this because it's really important for us or the system to handle all types of scenarios you can throw at it. So the user can be happy at the end of the day. So if we take a look at it here, so we when we start out to create a case description, we usually have a case diagram, which we saw just now, and we also have our requirements which we gathered. So with both of these, we combine it to create our case description. So I think that you understand this part. Next, we're gonna see the components. So this is gonna be presented by my friend Nalini.
Okay, so hi, I'm Nalini here. So the title of this slide is Use Case Description Components. So what's a use case name? It's a unique name for this use case. So nextly, scenario, the instance of the use case being documented, like the examples, like the situation that might be documenting. Nextly is the triggering event. Most likely is the cause of the event. So the business event that initiates or triggers this use case. Following that, it's a brief description, a 1 or 2 sentence description of the results of the use case. Nextly, actors, all those actors who is use this use case. Besides that, related use case, any included use case or use cases that include this one. Okay. Besides that, stakeholders, other person other than the actors who have an interest in the result of successful completion of this use case. Following, preconditions. Preconditions means a set of criteria that must be true prior to the initiation of the use case, whereas the post conditions, it's the next slide. Post conditions, set of criteria that must be true upon completion of the use case. Flow of activities, a step-by-step sequence of the actions by the actor and the system internal to the use case. Finally, exception conditions, Any exception conditions that use the system not to follow the expected flow of activities or that cause the use case to terminate abnormally. Thank you. So nextly it will be presented by my friend Josia.
It's me.
Okay, Joe.
Uh,
Nextly will be presented by my friend Josia.
okay, so now we're going to go through how to actually write a use case description. And so this was done by the person named Ken Worthy. It's basically a guideline. And so first we can see the first thing you have to do is identifying who is going to be using the system directly. And these will be the actors. Just like my friend previously said, one of the components for a system, for the description is actors, and they are actually the main component in the case development. Each actor has a specific role and played by the system user and represents a category of users that demonstrate similar behaviors when using the system. The actors may be people or computer systems. A primary actor is one having a goal requiring the assistance of the system. A secondary actor is one from which the system needs assistance to satisfy a goal. One of the actors is designated as the system under discussion. A person can play several roles and thereby represent several actors such as computer system, operator, or end user. And the second step is to pick one of these actors. And so from all the actors and the demographic that you have, you are supposed to identify a target system's use case, and we identify the system actors. A good starting point is to check the system design and identify who is supposed to help. Next. Step 3 is define what that actor wants to do with the system. Each of these things that the actor wants to do with the system become a use case. So the things that the actors want to do with the system become goals. For example, if a person wants to book something or a person wants to order something, that becomes a system goal. The goal is the end outcome of the actions of the user. There are two types of goals. The first type is a rigid goal. This goal must be completely satisfied and describes the target system's minimum requirement. The second type of goal is a soft goal. This usually describes a desired property for a system target and does not need to be completely satisfied. To identify use cases, we can read the requirement specification from an actor's perspective and carry on discussion with those users who will function as actors. By defining everything that every actor will be able to do in interaction with the system, the complete functionality of the system is defined. And then step 4, we have for each of those use case, decide on the most usual cause when the actor is using the system. In basic, what normally happens. And so for, let's say, a person who is ordering something, there will be a general idea of what will happen and what the person will do. And so those things may be very basic things. A use case has one basic cause and several alternative causes. The basic cause is the simplest cause, the one in which a request is delivered without any difficulty. There may be alternative causes that describe variants to the basic cause and the errors that can occur. These things are documented as extensions to the use case. Next. Describe that basic cause in the description for the use case. The use scenario is written from the user's perspective in view in easy to understand language. This step is very similar to the documenting a process flow. The steps necessary to achieve the identified goal are written out. So this is basically what the user will do to carry out the task and achieve the goal which was set out in the beginning. So basically, for example, like I said just now, booking a ticket and so on and so forth. And then finally, once you're happy with the basic course, now consider the alternative and add those as extending use cases. The extensions are written in the same manner as the original use case, but they provide alternatives to the simple path. And so just like the previous slide, we said that there might be errors or things that happen that are out of the ordinary. And those will be put in here. Once you're done with the basic course, you are supposed to add on the alternatives and use that to extend the use cases. And this will give out a more whole use case scenario. And you will know exactly what will happen in different scenarios. So you'll be more informed. So if let's say the basic thing does not happen, there's a possibility that this might happen or this might happen. And so that's basically the 6 steps to use when making a use case scenario. Thank you. And now my friend Nathan will finalize everything.
Okay. Listen, I'm gonna talk about the case study example here. So basically, there are two types of ways to write the use case description. So there's an intermediate way and also a fully developed way. The intermediate way is basically just the main flow of activities, while the fully developed way is the whole use case description from the top detail up to the flow of the activities till the end. So this is a more complete version of it. So that's why we chose this case study instead. So this case study is basically to create a new shipment request. Okay, and there's also a brief description about it, whereby they want the shipping clerk, which is the actor or the user in this case, to request for sales. Then a shipper will be assigned, the items will be recorded, and those items will then be filtered before the shipment can be finalized. So basically, you see here, like what Joshua said, the first step is to determine who's your user or your actor, which is our shipping clerk right here. So these are the flow or the order of how a use case description should be done, from use case name all the way to the exception condition. It's exactly the same as how we wrote the components. So the first thing for use case name should be unique, which is ship items. The scenario is where can be taken from the description, which is ship items for a new sale. And the triggering event to the scenario is where the shipping is notified of a new sale to be shipped. So this, when this event is triggered, that's when you want to actually call for shipment or request for sale. So a brief description about it would be shipping to retrieve the sale details, find each item and record its ships, and where record it is shipped, okay, and record which items are not available and send the shipment, which is basically the same as the description written on the left side, okay. Then the actors here, as I said, is a shipping clerk. The related use cases are none. There's nothing related to this ship case prior to it. Sometimes there are use case descriptions where there are related use cases which are almost similar to the one we're doing here. But in this case, there's none. And the stakeholders for this would be the sales department, marketing, shipping, and warehouse management. So the preconditions are the conditions which have to be fulfilled before you go to the activity, which is customer and address must exist, the sales must exist, and the items must exist. The post conditions can be seen or will only take effect after the flow activities is done. So in this case, I'll go to the flow activities first, which is the actor. And basically the actor is the user, and the system is what interacts when the user does something. What interaction, how does it interact with the user? So the first thing is the shipping request sales and sale item information, which is the shipping clerk does that, and the system responds by looking up the sales and returns the customer, address, sale, and sales items information. Okay, so the second step done by user will be shipping assigns a shipper, and then the system reacts by creates a shipment and associating it with the shipper. And for each available item, the shipping records an item which is shipped. The system then responds by updating the sales item as shipped and associates it with the shipment. Okay, then the fourth step, for each unavailable item, the shipping records as a back order. So in this case, the system will respond by saying the system updates the sales item as on a back order. Then finally, the last thing which the user want to do is to finalize the shipment, which is the shipping request, shipping label, supplying package size, and weight. So now the system will respond by saying that the system will produce a shipping label for a shipment which is requested by the user, and also records the shipment cost at the end. Basically, that's the end of the flow activity. So once you're done with that, only you can move on to the post conditions, whereby the shipment is created and associated with the shipper, and the shipped sales items are updated as shipped and associated with shipment. Unshipped items are marked as on a back order, and shipping label is verified. Basically, these are just to check back the flow activities, what has been done during the flow of activities. That's what the post condition means. And at certain times, there will be exception conditions, whereby if it doesn't follow the actual flow of activities, where something obstructs the flow of the activities, that's when the exception conditions come through. For example, 2.1, the shipper is not available to their location, so select another. There's no shipper, so they have to select another one. or if the item is damaged and get a new item and update item quantity. Another one would be if the item barcode isn't scanning, shipping must enter the barcode manually. If printing label isn't printing correctly, the label must be addressed manually. So basically these are unavoidable issues. That's why it's stated under exception conditions. So this is what will obstruct the flow of the activities if it doesn't go as planned. These are just an extension basically of to the flow activities. We just you're just thinking beforehand what might happen or what might not happen. That's what exception conditions would be. So that's basically how you do a use case description for this case study, specific case study. And everything will be given, including description. You just have to put it into a table like this and finish it till the end. That's all for the case study.